Hey YouTubers, the Wild Magic here again, and this time I'm responding to the video Atheist Challenge 22 New Questions for Atheists by the user The Stallion76. In it, he makes a slightly veiled attempt on atheism through 22 questions which he believes that no atheist should be able to answer satisfactorily. Here I'm going to go through them one by one and answer them. His first question is, where do you get your morality? Please explain the basis for your morality. My answer to this is, where do you get your morality? Your morality comes from a book, supposedly from the 10 Commandments contained within that book. But if you actually look at those 10 Commandments, it's stuff about like not boiling a calf in its mother's milk, so it doesn't really apply to real life. The 10 Commandments you see on TV and everything aren't really the ones that were supposedly given to Moses. So your moral system really has no basis either. Morals come from you, nowhere else. Like it or not, morality is subjective. And even if it wasn't, and it did come from your God's moral system changes all the time. If you look at the Old Testament, smiting everyone. New Testament, not smiting anyone. Sins can be forgiven now. Moral system changed. His second question is, why do you accept evolution? Explain how you came to your conclusions. Now, I'm gonna say this again, even though I've explained it plenty of times in my other videos. There isn't any evidence against evolution. The only reason it isn't universally accepted is because there are religious fanatics who don't want to believe that the universe, that life, could have come to be the way it is any other way except through their God's direct intervention. There are no non-creationist scientists who contest that evolution is a fact. It is a fact. There have been hoaxes. These hoaxes have been disproven. They are not a part of evolutionary theory today. The fact that there are no transitional fossils has also been covered by hundreds of other people on YouTube. I highly encourage you to go look up more stuff on evolutions at talkorigins.com. His next question is, what is the meaning and purpose of your life? This doesn't even really... What? Just... What? You can't ask that until you tell us what yours is. What is the meaning and purpose of your life, and how does your religion give it to you? Okay, you're going to say, the meaning and purpose of my life is to get to heaven. If you do say that, and I hope you don't, that's just sad, honestly. And if you say, to do God's work in this world, define God's work in this world. Then come back and ask what that is. The meaning of life is whatever meaning you give it. Do what you want. But if you do wrong, there will be consequences. If you do right, you'll be happy. Hopefully. You might just have bad luck. Get hit by a bus or something. His next question, what is the greatest thing you have ever done for others? My answer, I volunteered at a homeless shelter for a week straight, 8 hours a day. I was handing out food, making little care packages. I did this for no other reason than to be nice. Are you implying that when you do this, it's because your God says it's the right thing rather than out of the goodness of your heart? Really? And you're trying to attack atheists on these grounds? I mean, really now? Think before you say stuff like this. Really. Next question. Would you kill for atheism? Answer? No. But I would like to ask you, would you kill for your God? According to your Bible, if he asks you to, you're supposed to. So, would you kill for your God? Question 6. Why are you an atheist and consider your position valid? My response? There's no evidence for the existence of your God. Next. Question 7. If you died and discovered a God exists, what would you say to he/she/it? Well, my first thing would be, why didn't you make it more obvious that you existed? Then my second thing would be, assuming that it was actually the Christian God that I discovered to exist, why are you such a douchebag? Seriously. Killing people left and right just because they didn't bow down to you, and then creating sin, then saying, hey, I sacrificed myself to cure this thing that I gave you. You should all bow down to me. I'm so great. Why? Just, you're a douche. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna skip this question because it's irrelevant. I mean, honestly, you could ask this to anybody. It doesn't affect your position one way or another. So, on to number 9. Also kind of irrelevant, but here you go. Christianity. Judaism, I think it's called. Jews. Buddhism. Islam. I really have no problem with any religion as long as you don't try and convert me, which is what this video is kind of trying to do. For this question, I can't really give a perfect answer. I can't name every possible thing that would make me a believer, but I can say the thing that would most likely convince me would be if God himself appeared in this room with a contingent of accompanying scientists, preferably ones like Richard Dawkins and maybe Albert Einstein. I mean, he can raise people from the dead who I know, and they're like real people who aren't biased one way or the other, said, I am God, and then performed a miracle which could be scientifically verified to be physically impossible under natural law. Yeah, that would be pretty convincing there. This question is kind of an opinion answer, but I'd have to say yes. Religion typifies irrational thinking, belief without proof. It's not scientific. It encourages irrational thought and behavior, and a lot of atrocities have been committed in its name. There are some good things that come out of it, but in my opinion, I think the costs outweigh the benefits. This isn't to say that religious people are bad. Religion itself is what I have an issue with. This question is quite clearly irrelevant, duly ignored. First off, I'm gonna say this one's irrelevant as well. It really doesn't affect the issue one way or the other. But I'm also going to answer no. Not because I endorse what Hitler or Stalin did, but because I couldn't bring myself to kill a baby. I couldn't bring myself to kill anyone. I'm a pacifist. Killing is wrong. I don't endorse capital punishment. I wouldn't kill a baby. Would you? Honestly? Answer me that. Would you do it? Likewise, this question is irrelevant. But in any case, stem cell research is important because it could provide us with cures for cancer, ways to fix paralysis for someone that's had their spinal cord severed. It's basically the forefront of medical technology. It's important. I honestly can't answer this question. I'm not entirely sure what my feelings on abortion are, so all I can say is I'm glad I'm not a woman so I don't have to choose. Next, I guess. I wouldn't. Next. Yes, we should. No, I don't. Do you? Explain. I actually don't believe in capital punishment because I'm a pacifist, but this is just to prove, this really doesn't have anything to do with theism versus atheism. Almost all of his questions right now are just pointless. No, but aliens aren't supernatural. Yes, because I don't believe in hell. This is pointless. Can you? No, I didn't think so. Alright, moving on. And lastly, a straightforward no, because if I answered yes, then I wouldn't be here making this video. Or would I? Alright, so in future, try and make your questions actually relevant to the topic at hand. That's about all the advice I can give you. The wild magic out. Live long and prosper.